One of the biggest culprits for me was just like feeling that I wasn't deserving of being in my position. Like I just felt like why did I make it compared to other people? Okay, wait, how come nobody told me that after nursing school would be even more stressful than nursing school? Because let's face it, I thought that when I was done with the NCLEX, I'd be good. But then I moved on, and then my new grad program was super duper stressful. And everybody kind of romanticizes nursing, you know, like you're saving lives, you're doing great things, but nobody ever talks about the hard part, which is the transition. Why? I don't get it. Now, if you're brand new here, please don't give up on nursing just yet. I'm letting you know that it gets better, but before it gets better, there is some stuff that you have to go through to help you grow like a little cute little plant. So if you have any stories about having a stressful or hard nursing program, or any like stories about your preceptors and just relating to what I'm talking about, please drop them down below and let's have a discussion about this, because I know I'm not the only one who has struggled in their transition from student nurse to new grad nurse. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Trish. I am a registered nurse. I work in the surgical ICU, and I post nursing related content every Monday, so please go ahead and give that button a like, and don't forget to subscribe for some nursing content. If you're anything like me, you would have thought,
we cruise on by through nursing school, and we're gonna make some big girl money once we pass the NCLEX.
the reality of it is that there is so much to learn after nursing school. When I was in my med-surg clinicals, I was dealing with mostly PO meds and sometimes hanging an antibiotic here and there. When I transitioned into new grad nurse, I was dealing with 5 continuous strips that I had to order bags for when they would run out. I had to learn how to use a ventilator, a continuous dialysis machine, and the learning curve was so steep that oftentimes I felt so defeated when I didn't understand something that I wanted to cry. There was no more ask a nurse, ask someone older. It was gonna be me. And that feeling of doom, like I'm not cut out to do this, always crossed my mind in these first few months. Something that I know really impacts my mood is if I take the time to take care of myself so that I look good, I definitely feel way better at work and way more comfortable and confident in my shoes. And if you're like me and you work in a hospital, then you don't really have that option to style your clothes because you're wearing scrubs. So what I like to do is I like to wear accessories, and I've been loving a company by the name of Ana Luisa. I talked about them in my Thanksgiving favorites video because their jewelry pieces are so simple yet they stand out. This is the Felicia necklace. This retails for $75 and it's kind of like a rose gold on me. Honestly, I'm absolutely loving it, how simple it is, but how it stands out with my cute gray scrubs. I've also been wearing this one every day. This is the Alyssa necklace. I did mention this in my last favorites video, but I am absolutely loving this one because I get so many compliments on this necklace. This one retails also for $75. And guys, they don't just have necklaces, they have some other stuff like earrings and bracelets. I just wear necklaces to work all the time, so it was the perfect treat for me. And right now they are having a Christmas sale, so you're in for a treat. It's buy one, get one 40% off. And I believe if you spend over $150, you get a jewelry case with your purchase. Ana Luisa is one of my favorite brands now because they strive to be carbon neutral. And if you really are not satisfied with any of your pieces, you have 365 days to return them or replace them. Also, I should mention that their pieces can range anywhere from $40 to $175. So these pieces are definitely fairly priced and they don't tarnish and last. So I'm super excited to be wearing them. You can check them out using my code www.analuisa.com/TrishaIsabelCH, and I will link that down below. Starting out, my anxiety was at an all-time high. First of all, I really wanted to prove myself to my boss that she made the right decision in hiring me. So I was always trying to be on my best behavior, which for me meant that I should be well-versed in these textbook ICU things. There were also so many things that my preceptor would try and explain to me. And of course, it's a lot to learn in one whole day. And I tried so hard to memorize it in one sitting, and that is not possible. there are so many things you're going to miss because it's not really common to you and you don't have that muscle memory of doing it. I also just had a lot to learn. What are the things that I can tell patients' families versus the things that they need to hear from a doctor, and how to convey urgency when I'm trying to talk to a doctor. Different things that I really didn't have all the answers to that would give me anxiety because I felt like if I couldn't tell that person what was going on with them, that they would find me out, that I was a new nurse, an imposter, I didn't know what I was doing. So I realized that I wasn't helping my anxiety by focusing on all of the negatives. So I tried to be proactive in terms of how I was going to negate the anxiety and stress that I was having. The first thing that I did was when I would be doing a task, like let's say I'm in rounds with the doctors and they order Lasix, they have a CT scan that they want to do, and they want to do a swallow eval. And I want to make sure that I'm telling the oncoming nurse, I want to make sure that I chart it in my note. So I'll write it in that time slot. So at 12 o'clock, they ordered Lasix. And then I can let the nurse know that they ordered Lasix just one time when they are coming on. And so that I'm not fumbling through my papers trying to figure out, okay, what changes did we make? I don't even remember. The day was so long. And so having them in the box makes it easy for me to recap. I would also review my notes when I get to my car. So before I go home, because I don't want to take the stress inside my house, I will review the things that I did in my car and see what I thought that I did well and what I thought that I needed to work on. I've said this multiple times. You also want to review this with your preceptor because they will give you another perspective that you may not have even thought of. So they may tell you, hey, I want you to work on maybe talking to family members, and you thought that you were awesome at talking to family members, but they may have a better way of saying things that may help you earn the trust of the family member, gain a little bit more perspective on the patient's condition. And you can also relay your thoughts to them so they know what you're feeling and what you're comfortable with and what you're not. I would also just come to work early so you can review that patient, and that gives you a little bit less anxiety because you are not fearing the unknown. There is something that you know about this patient when you get them. And don't forget to take a deep breath because you are going to get through your shift. Remind yourself that it's just 12 hours and you're there to learn and try the best that you can. One of the biggest culprits for me was just like feeling that I wasn't deserving of being in my position. I wasn't deserving of graduating from a great university in nursing. Like I just felt like why did I make it compared to other people? And why did I get this job at my dream hospital when I'm guilty of not having the best grades? And so kind of getting through that took me a little bit of time, but it also contributed to me feeling like I couldn't be a good nurse and that I wasn't a good nurse and that I didn't learn anything. If you've never heard of imposter syndrome, it's the feeling of inadequacy even when you have achieved something. I felt that even more when I was a student and I saw my first patient crump. Instead of going up there to go and help, I just stood there and kind of just wanted to ask for help, or as I always say, ask a grown-up. Soon I realized that grown-up was going to be me, that I'm going to have to be the one that jumps in during a situation. And so that was scary to me, that I just froze there and I really beat myself up over that. I wondered if ICU was right for me, and it made me really sad because that was my absolute dream job. To think that I'm not competent enough to be able to be in my job made me so sad. Something that really helped me out was saying affirmations in the morning, because I knew that if I came into it with a good mindset that I would feel so much better versus coming into work being like,
Great, well, I'm just gonna not do great again.
And that would set the tone for your day. So I've touched on this before, but something that really helped me was writing down some positive affirmations like, I'm meant to be here. This is where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to learn and be the best nurse that I can be. And saying those things to yourself may sound really silly and you may feel weird in the beginning saying it, but over time you will start to believe it and you'll notice that change and you'll gain a little bit more confidence as you go. You can buy an affirmation box. This one is from Etsy. I can link the person who made this down below, but honestly a really cheap way to do this is to just pull out index cards and write them, like write a few and then pull one out on the morning that you're going to work and read it to yourself. I absolutely love that tip, and I still use it to this day when I feel like I'm an imposter. Another thing that helped me is to find a preceptor or mentor that you can really confide in, so you can let them know like, hey, I'm having a really hard time with this, can you kind of walk me through this a little bit more, or hey, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Those are the people that you want to surround you, because I feel like in the end of the day they'll be able to uplift you and kind of remind you of why you're there, especially when you don't feel like you are meant to be there. Also, find friends who are going through the same thing, whether they're starting the new grad program at your hospital or friends who are also new grad nurses who are working at other hospitals, and ask them if they're feeling the same. 9 times out of 10 that the learning curve is really steep, and sometimes nurses get into this place where they're like, whoa, is this even for me? Because this is a lot. I feel so slow. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Simple tasks are taking me forever in a day, but these are the experiences that will shape you. When I first primed a tube feed pump, I had the cap on and the cap popped off, and my preceptor laughed at me, like not in a mean way, but she laughed at me and she's like, now you'll know never to do that again. And it was just a reminder that every little lesson you learn is an experience for you and it'll shape you. It's gonna take a lot of time. Honestly, it took me 2 years to feel completely comfortable in my ICU, and to this day I am still learning. I'm still asking questions, and sometimes I do feel stupid for asking questions, but I would rather be safe than sorry. In this job, we give so much of ourselves that it's so important for us to give back to ourselves and make it easier for us to go to work. So that can be like prepping your uniform and your food the day before, or like for the next 3 days. I'll usually go and work out before I go into work so that I feel kind of the endorphin rush. I'll listen to some pump up music sometimes, or just a podcast that really gets my mind stimulated. Sometimes I'll listen to like a devotional or something that if I really need to be inspired, I will listen to that as well. Always celebrate your highs, you know, like I said, whether it be starting that IV, making a patient feel better, learning how to talk to the doctor, just the little things that you did well on, because it is so easy to be stressed as a new grad, and really you want to be in there for the long run. So take care of yourself, take care of your back, don't be lifting weirdly. And if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here as a resource for you. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.